Hi team, I hope you're all well. Today we are going to be going through my cursed books. Essentially, this is a video that I got from Jade, and essentially these are the books that I've gotten partway through, stuck a bookmark in, put down and haven't come back to for whatever reason. There is reasons for all of them, but for whatever reason. So I thought I would do a video to hold myself accountable so that I know exactly what I'm partway through and see if we can get them finished before the end of the year. If you hear really loud wind, I apologise. It's very windy outside today. I don't know what's going on. I think there's a storm coming in or something, but it's sunny, just really windy. So I do have 10 books on this list, so I thought that we could go through them reasonably quickly. I'm not going to explain what they're all about, but I will briefly tell you what they are about and then my reasons why I put them down. So first off, we do have Death by Laura Thalassa. I did get 59 pages into this one in January, and I was reading this for Becca's Alpha Ho Patreon book club, and the reason why I ended up putting this one down is because I have read this story now. This is the fourth book in the Horseman quartet. Quadrilogy, I nearly said quartet. So I feel like I've read this story 3 times already. It's a very similar story. Basically, one of the 4 horsemen comes along to Earth and starts doing his horsemanly thing, and then he falls in love with a woman and she's trying to stop him from doing the horsemanly thing. So that's literally the be all and end all of the story. However, I am aware that the build up of a pestilence, famine and war is for Death's story, and obviously it's going to end differently than the others did, and I'm not sure how it ends. And I know I've recently watched Becca's vlog where she actually read this, so it's sparked my intrigue to want to finish this one again. This was going to be a solid DNF, but now it's been a soft DNF. I don't know why I was going to say a warm DNF. A soft DNF. So I am going to go back to this one. I do want to finish it off. So basically that's the reason why, and I just got sick of it and I didn't want to read it anymore because I'd read them back to back for the last 3 months. So I just got sick of it, didn't want to read it anymore. It's been a couple months now, so I'm hoping that I can pick this one up soon, maybe even in March for Final Book Support Group. So I do have Death by Laura Thalassa. Then I do have As Good as Dead by Holly Jackson. I did get to page, I thought I was further in than this, but I did get to page 59 in this one. And this one is following a young girl called Pip who basically runs a, is it a true crime podcast or something? She ends up, she's writing a paper in the first book about a death of a girl a few years earlier from her school, and it was deemed a suicide, but Pip isn't convinced that that's the case, and she ends up going through everything with that. And this is the 3rd and final book in the series, so again it's a final book. It's something that I could potentially finish in March. The reason why I put this one down is because there's a stalking element in this one, and on the back it literally says she has a stalker, one who keeps asking who will look for you when you're the one who disappears. If you know me, you've been here a while, you will know that stalking is a trigger for me, and this one I was not having a good time reading it and I couldn't figure out why. And at the time I was buddy reading it with Pris and she was like, there's a stalking element in it, have you not noticed? And I was like, shit. And I think it's because I do my best to try and ignore it. If I go into it knowing it's there, I'm not going to want to read it, so I ignored it, and then it made me feel icky, so I put it down and said to her, can you let me know how long that goes on for? And I think it's around 100 pages and then it calms down a little bit. So I'm going to try and go back to this one again. Could be perfect for March for Final Book Support Group, so it's a potential for sure. Then I do have Lightningstruck Heart by TJ Clune. I am not far into this one at all. I'm 32 pages into this one. Started this a couple months ago for a video. I am still wanting to get to this one. Jade has recommended this one to me a lot and she thinks I'm going to absolutely love it. It is a very queer book about a boy called Sam, a king's wizard, Morgan of the Shadows, Gary the Hornless Gay Unicorn, and Tiggy, who's a half giant, and Sam ends up being called Sam of the Wilds, and he falls in love with a prince. that he cannot have, or can he? So I'm intrigued for this one. It's already ridiculous, 32 pages in, so I am intrigued. Do want to get back to it and pick this one up and give it a read for Jade more than anything. But I do want to get back to it, but it is on here as a cursed book because I've started it and not finished it. Then we do have Babel by R.F. Kuang. This is only on here on the basis that I have started it. I'm 133 pages in. I started it like October last year and I just haven't continued on with it. And I'm not the sort of person that takes a month over reading a book. I'm not gonna lie. Like, if I don't finish the book within a week, I won't finish it. I'm terrible for it. I'm absolutely terrible for it. But this is the sort of book that you can take your time with, and probably better off doing so as well because there's so much in it. Now, Caitlin has put this on my 12 books from 12 friends, so I will be finishing it at some point this year, and my aim is for April, I think, to have this as, because I want to do 30 books in 30 days again in April, and this is going to be my big book for throughout the month that I can read like 50 pages a day of or something, just make my way through it in that sense. So thanks to Caitlin for putting this on that list and making that suggestion for me. But this is a dark academia book about Oxford in 1836 and translation and things that tie in with that and stuff. I am terrible at explaining this book because there's so much going on with it, but I'm having a good time with it so far. Whether or not that continues, we will see. Then I do have Starsight by Brandon Sanderson. Listen, I started it, when did this even come out? Because I started it when it came out. That's so embarrassing. 2019. I got to page 184. I think I am going to have to restart this one, I think. But this is book 2 in the Skyward series. I loved Skyward. I've read it like twice at least. And I do have Cytonic, which is the 3rd one in this series. But I believe this is going to be about 6 books long and we only have the first 3. I've got the short story collection as well. Can you, where is, oh, they're up. There, they're up right up at the top, you can't see them. But I've been debating whether or not to get the American editions for these because I actually prefer the American covers. But I do have the first 3 in the UK, it's just that I got the 3rd one in American as well. And then the short story collection in American. It doesn't matter, you don't care. This is a sci-fi series following Spencer, who in the first book wants to become a pilot. However, her dad was a traitor to her kind and they refuse to allow her to pass pilot school, despite the fact that she's trying her utmost best and she's actually a very good student and a very good pilot. And it's basically just following her. There's a war going on her planet and it's following her trying to get through pilot school and prove to people that her dad wasn't a traitor and something else was going on. And it's very good and I'm really enjoying the series so far. I've got absolutely no idea why I put this down. I've no idea. It's been a long time. After saying that, 2019 was a very bad year for me in terms of losing my granddad and having an actual mental breakdown. So that could explain it, maybe. Then I have Daisy Darker by Alice Feeney. I got an e-arc of this. I started it and didn't continue. I'm enjoying it. I don't know why I didn't continue, to be honest. I think I started it maybe on holiday or something and I just didn't carry on. I'm quite a ways in actually. I'm 107 pages in. I'm way further in than I thought I was. 107 pages in. How cute is it that I've matched my bookmark to the book? And I do want to continue on with this one. This is a thriller following a family, surrounding a family and some inheritance. They all go to their grandma's on a remote island and one by one they start getting picked off and they're not sure what's going on and they need to find out who the killer is. So I think it's like a is it called One by One by Agatha Christie retelling? So very similar to that and I was enjoying it, so I'm not sure why I didn't continue. It is what it is. Then we have Shadows of Self by Brandon Sanderson. This book is going to haunt me for the rest of my life if I don't finish it. I don't want to finish it, but this book is going to haunt me for the rest of my life if I don't finish it. This is the second in the Mistborn Era 2 trilogy, and I loved Mistborn Era 1. Absolutely loved it. One of my favourite series of all time. This series, however, I am not enjoying, not even a little bit. We follow Wax and Wayne, and this follows on many, many years after Mistborn 1. And the magic system is very different in here, and I don't enjoy it as much. It's set in a Western setting, and I'm not enjoying that either, and I'm just not having a great time with it, and I just need to carry on. I'm 228 pages in. There's not even that long left to go. These are the shortest books in probably all of Brandon Sanderson's series, other than his YA series. And I just need to carry on, really. I think the thing that's put me off now, I was going to try and plough through book 2 and 3 in one sitting, to be honest. But I think the thing that's put me off now is that there's a book 4 come out. And I just don't want to do it anymore. But Jade did plough through. She did finally, because I was buddy reading this with Jade and we put it down at the same time. We were like, we don't like this, we don't like it, and we didn't carry on. And then she ploughed through the rest of it and she finished book 3 at the very same time. And she said there are some good cliffhangers, and book 3 does come out with some really good stuff. So I would recommend finishing it. So I think I am going to try and do that, but not enjoying it, not having a good time. I'm not the kind of person that forces myself to go through a book if I'm not enjoying it, so this is going to be a struggle for me. So we'll see what happens with that, but hopefully I will get through it and I can finish out the series, because I feel bad about the fact that I'm essentially at a point where I'm not going to finish that series, and I probably should, so that I can continue on with Brandon Sanderson's other books and not feel bad about it. Then we have Well Met by Jen DeLuca. I've got no idea what happened with this. I started reading it last year, I put it down, and I don't know why I stopped, because I'm not even that far behind. I'm not even that far behind it. I've not even got that long left. I'm on page 210. I think I've got just over 100 pages to read. This is a romance at a Renaissance fair, and I was really enjoying it. I don't know what happened, and I do now have books 2 and 3 in the series as well that were gifted to me for my birthday and Christmas. So I would like to continue on with this and finish it off, and it wouldn't even take me that long. I just don't know what's wrong with me. I just put it down and didn't pick it back up. So there is that one. Second to last one, we've got Under the Whispering Door by TJ Klune. I put this down because I was a ways in, actually, way further. I wondered where that bookmark had gone. 193 pages in. I know exactly what's happened, so I'm not going to restart, but I put this down because I was grieving heavily. When did this come out? Who was I grieving? 2021. Okay, so that wasn't my granddad, because that was 2019. 2021 was my friends that died within a week of each other. It was not a good time. Was 2021 that? Yeah, 2022 was my grandpa. So I was grieving quite heavily, and this book deals with grief very, very heavily. Essentially, we are following our main character, who is Wallace, and a Reaper comes to collect him. He has died. A Reaper comes to collect him, and he's at Charon's Cross, which is like a gateway to cross over to the other side. And he's having some tea and scones, and he's basically looking back on his life and seeing maybe what he could have done differently, but he doesn't want to abandon his life. He doesn't want to be dead. He's got so much more he wants to do, and it's about that, essentially. So it does deal very heavily with grief, and I ended up putting it down because it was becoming too much for me, and that's literally the sole reason. So I would like to get back to this. I don't have long left. I would like to get back to it and finish it off, because I was really enjoying it. And then the final book I have on here is The High Mountain Court by A.K. Mulford, which is book 1 in the 5 Crowns of Orcrith. I did get an e-arc for this one as well. I started it while I was on holiday. It just didn't continue when I got back. And I got to page 100 exactly, actually. And then I did get physical copies of them. So I did get this one myself. And then I bought books 2 and 3, I think. Oh, they're there. yeah, books 2 and 3 in the series for my birthday and Christmas. So I would like to continue on with this one. I was enjoying it, to be honest. I was having a good time with it, so I would like to continue on with this one, and hopefully get through it and finish it off potentially. So yeah, fingers crossed that that would be doable. And that is the 10 books that are on my cursed books list. There's quite a few there that I'm near the end of that I could potentially make a video out of, just trying to get through and knock them off the list. But we'll see whether or not I do that. I am hoping to get through them all. This is yet another list that I am adding to my TBR to get through for the year. We've already got 12 books from 12 friends, 11 top 11 priority, and now we've got 10 cursed books list. It should be doable though. I'm partway through all of them, and in some of them I'm well over halfway, so you know, I think we can manage it, hopefully. But chat to me in the comments down below. Do you have any cursed books on your list? Have you read any of these? Just chat to me in the comments down below. Let me know you were here, and I shall see you in the next video. Bye for now.